So Valve is changing how reloads work in Counter-Strike 2. It has always just been that when you reload, you're actually just adding some ammo to your mag. And you're not just, actually changing a mag. Or at least that's kind of how it worked. Kind of like this. Look, when I shoot, I reload. Look, there's no ammo that actually just gets wasted. Now some games have it that when you actually, reload, you genuinely change the mag, like in real life. And so don't just add some new ammo on top, you actually completely waste the ammo that you have in your mag. Which in games make it so that you have to pay more attention to when you reload, so you don't just reload all the time, kind of like I'm doing right now. Because in basically every game I play, I always just reload right after I get a kill. But in Counter-Strike 2, that's now changing in favor of more realism. Because, obviously, you just added some new ammo on top, that makes no sense. I will have to get used to this change, because obviously, in most games, so like Modern Warfare 3 that I'm playing right now, that is not the case. So I will have to kind of get used to it in Counter-Strike 2. That doesn't mean it's actually just a bad change. I will just have to kind of get used to it. I'm probably not really going to like this change all that much, because like I said, I always just reload right after. So I'm not really a fan of this change. I mean, reactions are pretty divided. But some people like me kind of saying that, it's going to be a pretty annoying thing. And some people are happy with it because it's going to add more realism to the game. Anyway, let's read some comments on the Charlie Intel post about this. Because Counter-Strike 2 is for men, unlike that little boy Call of Duty game. Ignore the gameplay. That makes realism way more realistic now. And someone replied to that, nobody wants realism in an arena shooter game. I kind of agree with the last one. I mean, Call of Duty doesn't do, this kind of realism because it just makes no sense for this kind of arcadey game. So I do think for Counter-Strike 2 it doesn't really fit, and it, fits better in Arma, kind of, for example. Genuinely, what's the point? I also kind of agree with this. Like, why are they even doing this? Like, just out of nowhere they are changing how reloads work. Like, I don't really know what the reason is for just randomly doing that. It makes no sense to just kind of do that out of nowhere. Kind of like, I get they want to add more realism, but like, CSGO came out like over 10 years ago. So like, why are they randomly just changing this now, like out of nowhere? Like, that's kind of confusing. Changing just for the sake of change. I also think that's kind of a reason why they might be changing it. They just wanted to have, some change to the game. But, that doesn't mean it's good change. Because, so yeah, I do think it might just be change for the sake of change. So, I do think this guy is probably right. That's probably the most realistic way of why they are doing this. Anyway, let's get on to the outro. So, yeah, just like my last video, I'm sorry this video is shorter than my DLSS 5 video. It's just that like there's kind of less to talk about here, because my last two videos have just been updates to games, and specifically just like little updates. Like, these don't matter too much compared to DLSS 5, which is Nvidia's new AI to make games look better, but it doesn't really make games look better, and in my opinion it makes them look a lot worse, because it just makes them look like those mobile ads you see. But that doesn't matter. If you want to see that, just watch that video. So yeah, comparing those, like, it makes sense why I can't talk about the updates for Echelon. Also, in my last video I did forget the section where I react to comments about it. I did put it in this one, but I forgot that in my last video before this, so I'm sorry about that. I do really hope we get some better news later today. That would be really cool. I haven't uploaded twice in one day for actually quite a bit. I think the last time was when, the first video was about Ubisoft announcing new games, and the second one was about Xbox getting a new CEO. As you know, Xbox getting a new CEO, that was important enough to make a brand new video about that day. I do not know how, but I just kept kind of messing up in this recording. Like, I have not had it in a while where in the recording I have messed up my lines this much. Like, oh my god, I kept stuttering. It was so annoying. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Comment what you think about this. But yeah, thanks for watching.